2 hits, get a knock. So Jibby goes down because of it. Goes down because of the ulti. I start pushing up, see the Pathfinder, dealing damage to him. Right here. This could have been a huge mistake. Could have been. I stopped myself in this scenario. If I push out here, boom, what did I just do? Put myself in between the 2 teams. We knew the one team was fighting from the rocks. Ulti, they're very likely to scatter out. Then they're going to come back in and fight the same way they were. So if I push out into the road here, chase that Pathfinder, thirsty, too thirsty for the kill, I end up getting beamed in the back by this other player. So it's one of those things where you got to remember, hey, there's multiple people in this fight, and something that I realized when I play Apex, and something that you should pay attention to in your deaths. Alright, man. We're doing a breakdown of a game we just barely played. This is going to end up on the YouTube channel, so if you're watching this over later on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it or you learned something, alright? So let's jump into this. So, playing a game here. We're playing Bangalore. Often I get asked the question about drops, right? I get asked this question all the time about drops. People are always like, hey, where should I drop? They ask questions about rotations, different things. First off, hey, if you're not playing ranked, if you're not playing like up in ranked, where you drop has like, doesn't matter too much. If someone out there, you're new to the game, one thing I would say is drop somewhere where it's like not super hot, far enough away that you can get loot. You're not fighting for loot right off the bat. So jump far enough away that you're not going to get loot, but then I would immediately try to get into fights after that. Especially if you're new, because, hey, that's how you're going to improve. If you just go and loot the whole game and you're trying to not fight, try to stay away from everybody, all you're going to be is just a pack mule for somebody to come along and take all your loot, bro. So you got to get better, got to improve at the game. But, yeah, people always ask this question, where should I drop? Hey, unless you're playing ranked, drop somewhere where it's, like, remotely hot. Like, you're close to where you can get to a fight, but you're going to be able to get gear at least, right? That way you're going to be able to get into a fight, get into the action, and, like, that's going to help you improve as well. If you are playing ranked, typically, it's almost similar. You're going to just want to get somewhere where you're not going to have to compete for loot. You're not going to be able to do that every time, but that would be your goal in a ranked. All right.
I don't think it's ever going to be...
Now, saying that, not being a newer player, we go right into the heart of estates, and there's going to be a lot of people here. But if you were new to the game, that would be my recommendation for you to do. If you're not, after you've been, you've played enough, hey, jump right into hot drops, see what you can do, That's another good way to improve as well. So, we're flying in. Something you should be doing at this point that I'm not doing here, you should be looking around you, see what's happening, see how many people are going to land right next to you. But I'm talking to chat here, so I wasn't too worried about it. We end up getting 2 Mozambiques off rip here. Okay? One thing I'm doing, I'm paying attention to sound, okay? So even though we were fighting the seer here, I hear that there's someone else in his building. I don't know if we ever noticed him. I didn't notice him first there, but there's someone else in this building because I'm listening to footsteps. I can hear there's at least 2 in here. Boom. Octane pushes out something immediately right here to pick up on. Let's go back slightly, okay? We push out this back door. We're going to fight here. Boom, right here. This fight, immediately, you do not want to continue in like a fight where you're out here. You need to, immediately move back into cover. Why? He's got a shotgun as well, okay? Burst damage. He can jiggle peek this door in and out repeatedly with his shotgun. If you stand anywhere to the left and you don't move back into cover, you just give him that for free. It's going to be so hard to fight this guy because he's just peeking in and out of cover, right? You do not want to fight that. Whenever there's a scenario like that, you do not want to fight that unless it's like your only option. Like you have to push. And if that situation, if you're having to push, like you're having to like go into zones pushing you in or something, and you're having to fight a guy who's able to jiggle peek in and out of cover, it's all about, you just got to hit, you have to be insane. You got to hit as many shots as you can. So whenever you're in a situation like this, don't take this fight. It's not a good fight, right? So immediately, I see that he's able to do that. I immediately move back up. Also, he's got an Eva. I don't want to fight this guy straight up. Mozambique versus Eva. Don't want to have a straight up fight. So I'm going to block the door. I'm going to heal up here. Now I'm listening. Boom. I see him pushing around. I block the door. I'm watching my back because my back's the only place that's open. He pushes in, right? He ends up backing up. Now, look at this. This is the exact same situation, dude. I could have played this even a little bit better here. Staying next to this wall. After this fight here. Boom. Jiggle peek this wall right here. Instead, I push wide. So, it depends, because if he backs up, I don't have that angle anymore, right? He takes that angle away from me, and then I have to push and go into the open against him. If he backs up. But if he stays anywhere close, staying next to that wall and jiggle peeking with the shotgun is the play. He backed up just enough, though. We probably wouldn't have been able to do that. So I get the knock. My teammates are in a fight. I hear there's other people pushing. I'm low. I can't take the fight right now. My health's super low. The only way I'd push in is if, like, I had seen or heard my Wraith and Lifeline get multiple knocks. Then maybe at that point I stick around to fight. Otherwise, your health's low. You got to get out, stay up, right? So that's often a question I get asked. Viss, when do you continue to fight versus go to heal? When you would continue to fight is if you've, like, also got momentum in the fight. You've already got knocks. You've got people down. You can't just run up low health into two people that are still healthy, right? You're not going to win that. But if it's, hey, you're on the edge of winning that fight, it might be like your teammates knocked two of them and there's just one guy up and he's hurt. That might be a situation where you make this choice, hey, I'm going to fight this guy because it's close. And if I can just win this, then we get him out of here. Boom, we're good, right? That type of fight, though, would not be smart in this situation because it's early. There's tons of teams around. If you take that 1v1, even if you win, you're still trapped in that building. Other people, other teams are likely going to push you and try to third party, right? So, boom. Get out of the fight in this situation. We push away. Go to heal up. Hitting my cells, right? While I'm doing this, I'm trying to pay attention. What's happening with my teammates? Where can I hear shots? How many teams are around me? Lifeline, able to get in there. Kills the final guy. But then, guess this is what happens. They're going to get pushed. Because people always end up pushing those buildings, man. So, able to get my health back up. I'm trying to find loot at this point. I've only got 2 Mozambiques. Let's see if we can get something better. We end up getting a 30-30. Team immediately already up in there. They're going to ape them. Right? Get some, like, 14 damage. Chuck and they get rolled, right? They get rolled. I've got a Mozambique 30-30. If you go up, you're not going to be able to take that fight. Close range. Mozambique 30-30 against 2 guys that are up. And very likely full health on those 2 guys. By the time I even get up in there, they could have 3 up. By the time I push up the steps, if they immediately went for res. So, at this point, I'm backing out of the area. And Lifeline, like, our Lifeline up in here, doesn't like it, obviously, right? And I can understand why with the Lifeline. Because it's like, hey, we just fought this team, ended up getting pushed. Like, where's our bang at? He didn't understand the situation, though. I had to get away, had to heal up. I don't have good guns. If I run up in there, it's not going to go well for me. They got, like, 301s, 99s, full health, probably better armor. The Pathfinder had blue when he's running up.
I had to back out to heal, and then they all 3 pushed you before I could get back to you. You want me to run up in there and 1v3 them inside a building?
So, we go out, we're looting up. Prowler, very strong weapon right now. Obviously, right? If you're out there, you're brand new to the game or anything, Prowler's definitely a gun that would be towards the top of my list to consider taking right now. So, at this point, I'm thinking, dude, I would like to save these guys if I can. If I can save these guys, I definitely want to save these guys. Here's the thing, though. This team, if they all just camp the banners at this point, you're not going to save them. And this is like another thing. This used to be me. Always. I'd be the guy, hey, man, I'm going to try to save my teammates no matter what, right? Try to play hero. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to try to save them, even if it's a 1v3. Thing you realize, that's going to work about almost 0 times out of 100. Okay? Almost 0 times out of 100. You need to play smart, right? Even if your teammates are telling, hey, you got to come get us, do this. You got to understand the situation. Bro, it's a 1v3 scenario, okay? if I run up in there, it's very unlikely that I'm going to be able to freaking save these guys if they're all inside a building and I got Mozambique Prowler, okay? So I'm going to try to get better gear, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to gauge this situation. Before I end up getting there, though, our Wraith ends up leaving right there. So I'm pushing over this way, and then, our Lifeline's still giving me a little bit of shit.
All right, bro, see ya.
It's always like, whatever at this point. I could tell that he was very likely going to leave. He ends up leaving. So, the situation, though, say you are going to go for the save here, okay? Push over, stay at distance, see what's happening. If the other teams, all three, camp in the banners, the boxes at that point, very unlikely you're going to save them, dude. It's not honestly a good play. Something that when you're playing to think about is you're always gauging, like, the odds. You're always gauging the percentages of your move, okay? If you run up in there, very low likelihood you're going to survive and win. Your percentage, I got to be like, what's my percentage of winning if I go and try to save them compared to if you know what? I probably can't save them. I'm going to have to play by myself. You got to gauge that. And that's how you gauge everything. It's always that. That's always what you're doing when you're playing. You're always trying to gauge on the fly, what's my best odds? What's my best move? And you're going with that. In this situation, you look at these guys, they're down, they're knocked. These guys very likely still camping their banners or on their boxes, looting around that area. It's like, what, my percentage of going in and saving this guy and making it out alive? Less than 5%, right? My percentage of winning if I don't go and do that, probably higher than 5%. That's how I end up thinking about this. And it's always one of the things. If I can save them, of course I'm going to save them. I'd rather have more people alive, but...
Calling it right now. This is the first dub of the day right here.
Something here, too. Let me say this. I just called out in the game. Hey, this is going to be the first win of the day. Okay? It's about mindset. These guys just left. Hey, man, we're still going for the win. Okay? We're still going for the win. And it's about... Especially after you've played it a lot over time. And even if you haven't played a lot over time, playing situations like this where you stay alive and it's going to be you 1v3, you're going to learn, you're going to improve at different things in the game that you wouldn't normally improve at. Because you're going to have to play differently. Because you can't just take a straight up 1v3 in Apex and win most of the time. So there's things you're going to have to do and learn to get better so that you can win in these situations. So one, it's good to have these situations, even if you're not like the best of the game, because it's going to help you learn those things and improve. And that's what we're going to end up teaching you pretty much in this video right now. But hey, your teammates leave, shit happens. Sometimes shit's not going to be perfect. The game ain't going to go perfect. You're not going to get perfect teammates, all these things. Hey man, we're still out here to win. Okay? Let's still get the dub. That's the mindset. We're going to do our best with the situation we got. Okay, so we're pushing. I'm going to start looting here. Looting up.
Inside the next ring. Ready to win.
Trying to get better gear for this situation. Like, we want to get better armors. We're going to need more batteries. We're going to need a good weapon kit. It's just all of this. L-Star right now, very strong weapon as well. I know often people come in and ask, like, what's really good guns right now? L-Star, very strong. 99, very good guns. Almost always been a good gun. It's probably not one of the strongest weapons right now. It's like an A-tier weapon, where some of the other guns can be S-tier. But the thing with the 99 is I'm very comfortable with the 99. So it's one of those things with a 99, I always feel like I'm going to be able to do really well with it, regardless of where it's like at in the meta. So we're going to make some... First thing I do, digital threat, and then I'm going to make some batteries here. Why am I doing the digital threat? Because Bangalore with smokes, digital threat, especially in 1v3s, is huge. Because you're able to use cover your smokes for concealment. People can't see you. You're going to digital threat them, right? You can still see them through smoke. They can't see you. And it helps you create situations where in a 1v3, you're actually fighting one person at once. You're fighting 1v1s. That's one of the biggest things. People always ask, how do you beat multiple players? How do you beat a team of 3 when you're solo? It's about creating 1v1 fights within that fight. You're going to break each fight down. You're going to try to break it down into 1v1s. That's what you're going to try to do. So, looting up. We got the 99. We got the digital threat. We made a bunch of batteries. You're going to need batteries. When in 1v3 situations, you're going to need batteries. You're not going to be able to hit small heals. Cells, first aids, or syringes, not going to work. You need first aid kits. You need batteries. You're not going to have the time to heal up. You need bigger heals. And that's all. Like, also, one of the reasons people always ask, why do you play Bangalore? Her kit is great for 1v3s. Her kit is great for when the odds are against you because of her smokes with concealment, her speed with her passive, even her ulti. You can break teams up with her ulti. And speaking of her ulti, we're going to end up using it right here. So, boom, we're moving up on this situation. What's happening? Boom, 2 teams are fighting, okay? 2 teams are fighting. So, when I'm rolling up, I see the Jibby bubble coming down. I can hear the shots. I'm immediately trying to figure out, okay, where are these 2 teams fighting from? What are their positions? Shots left to right, okay? One team on the left, one team on the right. We immediately know one team is playing the rocks. The other team is going to be playing up against that wall underneath the highway because you can tell from their shots how they're looking. I drop the ulti in between the 2. Right? That's going to hit both of them. What's going to end up happening from that? They're going to scatter, right? Bangalore ulti starts coming down. They end up moving off in different directions a lot of the time, especially in just pubs. In lower ranked, it takes a very, very good team to be all sticking together when an ulti comes down. Usually everybody just scatters. This makes it so that you have 1v1 scenarios. You're not having to fight multiple people at once because they've all scattered out. You can end up isolating people. So I drop the ulti and I'm swinging left. Gibraltar starts crossing the street here. Gonna deal some damage to him. He pops bubble. Something I realized, my ulti came down before he was able to drop the bubble. That means that some of my ult could be in his bubble, right? So he might not be able to play it. So I start moving back here, paying attention. I get 1 hit. 2 hits, get a knock. So Jibby goes down because of it. Goes down because of the ulti. I start pushing up. See the Pathfinder dealing damage to him. Right here. This could have been a huge mistake. Could have been. I stopped myself in this scenario. If I push out here, boom. What did I just do? Put myself in between the 2 teams. We knew the one team was fighting from the rocks. Ulti, they're very likely to scatter out. Then they're going to come back in and fight the same way they were. So if I push out into the road here, chase that Pathfinder, thirsty, too thirsty for the kill, I end up getting beamed in the back by this other player. So it's one of those things where you got to remember, hey, there's multiple people in this fight, and something that I realize when I play Apex and something that you should pay attention to in your deaths, pay attention. Are you losing fights straight up 1v1? Because you're losing fights straight up 1v1, all that comes down to is your gun skill movement. Are you losing fights, or are you dying because someone else shot you from a different direction? That's because of your positioning. Then your positioning is off. You're not paying enough attention to what's happening around you. You're going too hard for one kill. You die because you get out of position. You got to pay attention to your position as well. So I stop myself here. It's one of those things. I'm about to push out into the road, about to go for this Pathfinder. It's like, no, you can't do that because you're going to end up getting beamed. I would have got beamed in the back by this guy. So another great thing about one of the reasons I love playing Bangalore, and this can be done with other legends, Ray for Q, Octane his Q, Jump Pad, Pathfinder. It gives you movement. You're able to get out of bad spots. I can pop smoke. That's get my concealment. Her then ulti or passive is going to help me move. So I immediately go back and I position myself so I'm not in between these 2 teams. I'm going to hit some heals here. And in this situation, I can use cells. It's not an immediate threat to me, right? There's not someone pushing me immediately. I'm able to use cells in this situation, and if I can do that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use my cells to heal back up because I want to save my batteries for situations where it's like dire. Right then, there's a team pushing me. I need to get all my shields back. If it's not that situation, I can pop cells and I can get back in the fight. It's not something where I need the shields now, right? So when it's that case, I use cells, and in the other case, I'm going to use batteries. Now, what ends up happening here? Let's go back just slightly. You can hear this res going. I'm going to crank the audio. Right there. You heard the guy get picked up. That was the sound. So I'm always paying attention to the sound. So I could hear a res, boom, gets picked up. And immediately, I'm going to try to shoot the guy that just got res because his health's low. His health's low, I want to immediately re-knock. That's what I want to do. If someone gets res, I want to immediately re-knock. If it's happening during the res, obviously you want to shoot the guy resing. You don't want to shoot the guy that's down. There's no point in doing that. So, shoot the guy, get the re-knock. Keep applying damage, pressure. And, like, during this, I'm still trying to pay it, like, it's not even I'm thinking about it, but there's just an awareness that, hey, there can be this other team to my right, and if I start hearing any sound, footsteps, someone pushing me, in that situation, I'm going to probably just smoke and move left, right? So, away from that, away from them, so that they don't get on top of me. That's one of the things when it comes to Apex, especially. You cannot let people get right on top of you. It's an easy kill. It's an easy fight, especially if it's multiple, right? Don't let them get immediately on top of you. You're almost never going to win a situation where it's 1v3 and the guys can almost like all touch you. They're going to just destroy you, right? You got to keep distance, especially in this situation. If you got teammates, things can be a little different. But it still really applies. You do not want people to get right on top of you. So I popped the smoke, and I was going to heal up there. You guys saw that. So this fight's going down. Got the re-knock. Right. Still fighting this. I believe it's a Horizon. Trying to nade it. I want to try to get the finish. I want to try to make it so he can't continue to res this guy. That was the first thing I did there. With the nades, the whole reason I'm chucking those nades in, I'd want to make it so I got that re-knock. I don't want you just to be able to slip around the rock and res him again. He could have been going for the res there. I want to land those nades next to him, right? Get him off the res, or if he sticks it, then it's big damage. And then I can push. So I chuck the nades. He goes off the rock to the right. I pop smokes. Smokes in this situation, I got digital threat, right? So if he pushes smokes, I'm going to be able to see him. So what I go to do here, I'm trying to heal, right? In this situation, I was going to end up hitting a cell. Could have go cell or battery here. You're only 2 bars short of a full armor, though, so a battery would be a little bit of a waste. Cell is quicker in this situation. But it just depends on what the other guy does. What happens, I hear him start to push me. I'm listening to sound. I hear he pushes. Immediately, I'm going to aim in. Digital threat can see him through the smoke. But he's also got a digital threat. Very likely. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to see me here. So, fight happens. I break armor. This is something else you want to always be gauging in a fight. I broke his armor. My armor's still up. I'm ahead in the fight right now. If he continues to fight me, like, I have the lead. I have the lead in this fight. I can win this fight. Like, I have the momentum on him in this fight, right? So, boom. End up getting the kill. Immediately go in. Armor swap. And while I'm doing this, paying attention. Sound. Everything. If another team pushes me, I'm going to back out. And we know that players were nearby. Boom. Sonar happens. I get scanned from in front of me. I'm immediately backing out. Because what's this team going to do? This team, very likely, was the team under the bridge. They're going to probably have their full team. They get a scan. They're going to push. I'm solo. They're going to see I'm solo. They're going to immediately be like, hey, push this guy. So, get that, and I back out. And I'm paying attention now. Are they still chasing? Is there more scans? Can I hear, like, a grapple coming in? Can I hear anything like that? Nothing. Right? Still paying attention to this the whole time. Trying to get geared up at this point. Let's talk about gear real quick. So often people coming in to ask, hey, Viss, what do I need to be carrying? Right? Your backpack. Okay? You need to have a balance. And one of the best ways, recently that I've thought about this, is you want to have the resources where you want... It's going to depend on your play style. right? I play pretty aggressive. I need a lot of ammo. But for you, what it's going to be is, say you had your gear in your backpack, and then you were just going to continuously get pushed. Fight after fight after fight. You don't get any more loot. What you would want to have happen is you would want to run out of all your resources at the exact same time, pretty much. So that when you run out of your ammo, you're also running out of your meds. You're also pretty much out of your grenades at that point. That's when you know, hey, I had a good balance for me in that game. Like, you want it to be, you don't want to get to the point where you've completely ran out of meds and you've still got like 5 stacks of ammo, right? Because it's like, damn, dude, I have 5 stacks ammo, but I'm just going to die because I have no meds. So it's something in your, like, when you're playing, if I got just immediately fight after fight after fight, with whatever your backpack is, your inventory, would I run out of everything at pretty much the exact same time? Like, right when I'm getting low on ammo, I'm getting low on heals and meds. That's what you want to do when you're trying to balance out your inventory. That's a very simple way to think about, where you're like, oh, for me, yeah, if I got in like multiple fights right here, this is what it'd be. If you're playing the game, you're like, dude, we were playing in that fight and I was like super low on ammo, but I had shitloads of heals. You're carrying too many heals. If you've got tons of ammo, but you're very low on heals, you're carrying too much ammo. If you've got both and you're getting to end of the game with both, it's like, hey, you probably could have carried more grenades, right? Because you didn't actually need all those resources.
Replicator touching down.
So, this point, this team was pushing at first, right? With the Bloodhound scan, immediately backed out, and they haven't pushed since. But I'm still paying attention to that because they're likely over there. They're probably looting, etc. And at this point, when I'm going through looting boxes, I'm mainly just looking for like better attachments, just to top off my ammo. It would be better here, and I might have went through. At this point, I probably could have taken like another 1 or 2 grenades rather than have like all the ammo that I have.
No, he actually didn't include in that box.
So Pathfinder there. He ended up going over. He was looting the box. And so what happened? I shoot them, but I know that they have numbers on me. I know that there's at least the Pathfinder and that Bloodhound. So as soon as I shoot there and I don't get like a knock, or I'm not able to get enough, like a ton of damage on somebody, I'm immediately going to back out of the fight, because all they have to do is decide, let's push this guy. Pathfinder grapples in, say they have an Octane, they pad, boom, they're just fucking all 3 on top of me. That's that situation that I was saying. You never want these people to get right on top of you. So immediately it's like, I shoot this guy and then boom, I'm just gone. I'm going to create distance. That's especially when you're fighting 1v3 and they continue to shoot. So what am I do? I'm going to continue to run. At this point, I'm like, these guys are chasing me. Pop smoke, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Do not want a 3-man to get on top of you. Do not want, that's their advantage over you, is their numbers. You want to take that away from them. You need to keep distance, make them chase you, and if they continue to chase you, it's either 1, continue running until you're going to get away. If you're not going to get away, then at least what you're trying to do is create distance between them, and then you can fight them 1v1 rather than 3v1.
Give my shields a recharge.
So we back out of this. I'm still trying to, in my head, okay, do I hear like shots? Do I hear anything? Am I still getting pressured from these guys? And it seemed like after the shots, if they were still pushing me, they likely would have tried to shoot me in my smoke, right? They likely would have tried to shoot as I was pushing up the hill, and they didn't chase me before. So I, at this point, pretty much could tell. I was like still thinking, hey, I'm still moving away from where they're at, but it's like I haven't got shot at them again. I ended up going for this crate. I'm looking back. Do I see them at all here? No, they didn't end up chasing me any harder.
It's probably a really early game drop.
Went and checked the drop. Was hoping for a power weapon. So, boom. At this point, I don't know if I noticed that guy right there. But, boom, that's when I first noticed. There was one I missed. Wasn't paying attention. There was a guy that was running up this hill right here. I noticed immediately when this guy is here. Immediately what I'm going to do, turn around, boom, pop smokes, get out. Because likely it's more than one, and it's what I just said. I do not want these guys to be right on top of me. I do not want to fight where they have the advantage, where they can all give me at once. I don't want to fight on their terms. I want to fight on my terms. Okay? So, pop smoke. I start backing up. But they didn't shoot me, right? I don't hear them running after me or, like, flying in or anything. But I'm still thinking, like, just get the fuck out of this fight, basically. So, then I look back. They're not shooting. I heard the gunshots, too. I see these gunshots. They ended up fighting a different team. So, immediately here, it's pretty much like rinse, repeat of the last fight. I'm trying to figure out, okay, where are these two teams at? They're fighting on the side of the hill. Sounds like there's some guys up on the top as I'm pushing up here. Paying attention to the sound of the shots, where the shots are going. And I'm not going to run somewhere where I'm going to put myself in a bad spot. Like, I kind of want to be an observer of the fight. I want to stay out on the outside. You don't want to get in between these guys. Because then it's like you can't protect yourself. You have no out. You're trapped, right? So you're kind of like looking at the fight from an outside perspective, just moving up, and you want to keep that. You want to keep yourself in a position where you're not going to get engaged by both these teams. The worst that could happen is like one team starts running away, and if that happens, I can engage them, right? And then the other team's probably going to help me. If they keep pushing you, then I'm going to pop smoke and I'm going to start kiting them backwards. So I move up. These guys are already in a fight. And because I did that, because I didn't like run straight at them and I stayed at an angle, like you have to realize these teams are also going to be trying to flank the other team. They're going to be moving like that too. They're not just going to always be running straight. So if you run in and then someone's flanking, they're going to flank you. So by staying on the outside and looking at it like this, you're going to keep yourself out of danger, and then you're going to have their back. So dropped ulti here, and it's the same thought process. And what I should have been doing as I was pushing up is paying a little bit more attention to the kill feed. Start paying attention to the kill feed and figuring out how to read the kill feed if you're new to BRs. It's a huge thing. Like, what we could have done there as we're going up, it's like you start watching, okay, you hear the fight going down, Pathfinder knocks this guy, say, like his name. And then it's like, okay, Pathfinder's on one team, that guy's name is on another. And then it's like, so-and-so kills the guy, finishes the guy that Pathfinder knocks. Okay, Pathfinder and so-and-so are on the same team. Now you know that because he just finished him. So now you know those two guys, when you see their names in kill feed, they're on the same team. Okay, then you see someone knocks the Pathfinder. Okay, that guy's on the other team. Now, what ended up happening, I know one person's dead from the one team, and I know Pathfinder is knocked from the other team. This is just saying a situation that can happen. Then what ends up happening, you see someone, you see Bloodhound knock the guy that knocks Pathfinder, right? Now I'm like, okay, one person's dead from one team, one person's knocked. There can only be one person up on that team. The other team, Pathfinder's knocked, and Bloodhound just got the knock. So it's either a 2v1 or a 1v1. So if you start learning how to read the kill feed, you can start doing this all on the fly. You can start doing this all on the fly, and then you realize, okay, they got multiple knocks. Boom, I know what I'm looking for when I go up. So what ended up happening, they finished the one team right when I got there. Right? 5 squads left, pushing up the hill. And you can see it in this situation. Guy knocks. So Benz is on one team, flatline, he gets knocked. Keep paying attention. You knock this guy. Pathfinder knocks Bridge. Ning kills Pathfinder. Right? You see that the squad just went down, the one team just got wiped. Pathfinder's up here. He's going to try to armor swap. Finish him. Get out of my ulti. That team's dead. Just like that. Use the other team to help me in that fight. That's another thing you want to be doing. 1v3 scenarios where you're just alone. Use the other players to your advantage. Sun Tzu, right? You guys ever hear of Sun Tzu? He was this like great warlord back in the day. Ended up fighting, I can't remember exactly. It was like the Mongols or something. Something like that. But hey, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Right? The Art of War. Yes, he wrote The Art of War. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. It's easier to win a 1v6 than it is to win a 1v3. Easier to win a 1v6 than it is to win a 1v3. Why? You can use the other team to fight that team. You can use those two teams against each other when you're fighting. Straight up 1v3, they're all three trying to just kill you. They're all focused just on you. When they have to worry about other people and you can start playing to use them, that's also what happens with our positioning is we're moving up the hill. We're just going to let them continue to fight. We're going to keep ourselves out of that situation until we have like a good opportunity to kill them. So, finished. Something I'm trying to be mindful of right now. Do I hear other teams pushing? I'm looking around. Do I see other teams pushing? And I like realized, see, I should have been paying a little bit more attention to the kill feed because I was like, did they kill that team? But I realized, oh yeah, they did. It's like 3 squads left. They're not around anymore. Gonna try to get better armors here.
Inside this next ring.
This is the point where I'm like, could use better. I could use more grenades. Start taking some frags. I'm gonna push down for this drop. Try to get a power weapon. End up getting a Spitfire. Right, I'm gonna definitely take that. Why am I taking the Spitfire? One, they put it back in the crate. Super strong gun right now, Spitfire. But the Spitfire is like one of the perfect guns for me to get because it's high ammo, high damage. I can fight 1v3. It's a perfect gun for 1v3 scenarios. So I drop Prowler, drop all of my ammo. At this point, I can get more grenades. So I started looking through the boxes. Is there more grenades? Any of these boxes? Get a thermite. One more box down the hill. And I'm still trying to pay attention. I don't want the teams to get around and top me. So I'm always like, sound, anything like that. I want to keep my distance from these teams. And I didn't even pick up the batteries in that scenario because it's 3 squads left.
More grenades.
6 batteries should be more than enough. And by leaving open slots, that means when you go to a box, you're going to immediately be able to pick it up rather than have to drop stuff. So, boom, I get shot at here. Immediately turn around because I can tell it's not like right on top of me. It's not like this guy's going full auto. Look, try to gauge the situation. Start moving. Boom, next thing you know, I either heard this zip line. I'm pretty sure I heard the zip line. Let's see. Let's listen in real quick.
More grenades. I can't tell exactly where that came from. It almost sounded like it was a...
No, I didn't even hear the zip line, bro. But when I turned around here, I noticed the zip line. And then you see the zip line shaking. Someone's taking the zip line whenever it's shaking. So in this scenario, this guy's first dude coming at me, right? The other two going to be behind. If they take the zip line straight into me, I can beam them, right? This is an opportunity where it's like I can get someone down in this team right now. It's like I could get one of them down right now, immediately make it a 2v3 or a 2v1 rather than a 3v1, right? So I'm immediately going to start beaming this guy. He jumps off. He has to jump off the zip line. And at this point, it's like I'm going to try to finish this guy. Got him low enough. I'm going to try to get this finish. And these other two, if they're taking zip line, they're going to be super inaccurate. They're going to be super inaccurate. So this is my opportunity right now where it's like, hey, man, I did a shitload of damage to this guy. I need to get him down right now. It's like, this is my opportunity. If I'm going to beat this team, I need to get this guy down. If you don't get this guy down here, he's able to get to a rock. This other guy comes in and he's fighting you at that point. And then, you know, the other one's coming in behind. At that point, it's probably disengage. It's probably disengage this fight and run because they're too close. You didn't get a knock on the first guy. He's in a hill. Even if you knock the second guy, the third guy, the next guy's already attacking you. Okay? So it's like this next dude on the zip line, if he does enough damage to you, now your shields are almost cracked. The Pathfinder comes up. He starts fighting you. He's got full shields. And then it's even if you kill the Pathfinder, then the Seer is going to be back in the fight by the time you knock Pathfinder. So it's one of those things where you have to understand, okay, if they've got too much momentum in this fight when they're pushing me, like I have to leave. I have to get a better fight. I can't fight them in that scenario. But that's not what happens. We get the knock, okay? Next thing here. The tree's blocking the view of the Pathfinder coming up. This guy's already on the zip line ahead. I can immediately go to this fight, right? I get the knock, and right there during that, and it's kind of crazy because I don't even like, it's not like I'm even almost consciously doing this, dude. It's almost not even, it's just that I've played so much now that I just do it. It's like, boom, I fought him, and I look to the right. I check for the Pathfinder. Is the Pathfinder coming up? It's Pathfinder, right? No, it's fucking Horizon. I'm saying Pathfinder from the last fight. It's a Horizon. and she's like still back, or she's just barely starting to take the zip line. So it's like, I look, is this person pushing me yet? No. It's like, okay, I just got this guy damaged. I can get him now too, right? So immediately swap out of the Spitfire, beam the fuse, and I pop a smoke to my right. I'm popping smoke because I know there's still one more guy. And on top, it's because one, I'm trying to block the view of the other guy. And two, it's to create it's to create a 1v1, and also it's like I have smoke, I can conceal myself, and I can see you with my digital threat still. So it's like it's basically, it's almost like you got wall hacks, right? With Bangalore and a digital threat. It's like drop smoke on top of you, shoot the person. So boom, I get the knock, and then rotate around. I'm now immediately looking, where is this other player at, right? And I'm going to play in the smokes. I'm going to play out and around the smokes. I'm listening to sound right now. And then boom, what happens? Hear this cue, right? And this Horizon crazy dude jumps right on top of me. So immediately I'm just going to go for the shots. But dude, Spitfire, hipfire close range, super bad. I end up swapping to the 99. This fight, this right here could have went bad for me. The Spitfire that close range, you're not getting those shots with the hipfire. I really needed to aim in and hit those shots there with that Spitfire. But swap to the 99. Have to go back to the Spitfire instead of reloading. This was that situation that I just said. It's like a perfect gun for a 1v3. If I would have had like another Volt or something there and I run out of ammo, then it's like I run out of both those guns and he swaps to his next gun and he beats me. But because I have the Spitfire and I took something where it's like higher damage, higher ammo capacity, you're able to fight more people with one mag. It helps win me this fight.
Oh my god. Fucking...
So I armor swap. I'm paying like 2 squads left. I'm thinking this last team could be on top of me at this point, right? I'm thinking last team very likely coming in third party. I'm paying attention to all that. I'm going to heal up my health. That's why I go for the armor swap. 2 things here. Boom. I'm going to use my syringe to get back up because it's... Honestly, at this point, I could have used medkits. I'm being greedy at this point by using syringes. Either way, though, you're hitting just 2. So they're going to come off at about the same time. But I'm trying to pay attention. Do I see this other team? No. Haven't heard them? No. Okay. I'm going to move back up to this box. If they're not going to immediately push me, I'm going to grab my armor. And I'm going to heal my red armor up so I have more health. Instead of this purple.
This is actually a really good spot to fight.
And something I was saying, this is one of those things kind of I'm talking about. I was saying this is a really good spot to fight teams like of 3 because you have the elevation change, especially if you're playing at the top of the hill and there's all these different rocks and everything in the trees that you can maneuver and fight people like 1v1 rather than have them all get right on top of you. So that's another thing. Understanding, hey, I'm 1v3. Where can I play that's going to give me, like, the advantage that I need in a fight?
With, like, 1v1s instead of 1v3s.
Use the terrain to your advantage. Poseidon? Hey, congrats, dude. Hopes everything goes well. If anybody watching on YouTube, we're still doing this live on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
My boy Poseidon in the chat. He's gonna have a baby. His wife's going into labor. All right, so now I'm like waiting. I'm looking for these teams. I'm looking to my right, looking to my left. Where are they at? Thinking to myself, very likely like 1 team left, probably full team, maybe less at this point. And so, boom, what happens? Get a Kraber. We're going to definitely take the Kraber because if it is 3 teams, the Kraber gives you that opportunity to immediately get a knock, immediately get big damage. So I talk about it even in the game right here. I just gave up my digital threat, so I don't have the ability, obviously, to see through smoke anymore.
A digital threat and being able to see through
But
smokes so that we can get 1-shots.
We got that 1-shot capability with the Kraber. And I'm going to keep the Spitfire for the same situation. It's like it's better against teams of 3.
Crypto. This is solo.
So I go for the shot here. I see a Crypto going left to right. And so I'm trying to figure out, is there someone else on this team I'm scoping in? Do I see anyone to the right? Do I see anyone to the left? Someone pay attention. He went left to right. So it's either he was behind his team, right? They're moving. Because usually when people move, right? It's all in a straight line. Like someone's going to be following somebody. So it's either they're left of him or right of him if he has a team. And it's always better in a situation like this to assume they have a team. If you just like, oh, it's just one guy and then you run up and get beamed by their whole team, it's like, no.
Always assume team. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably a good way to think about it.
And even someone in the chat is like, yep, we always assume team. You're like, yep, we always do, bro. We always assume. So I'm just staying at the edge here. I'm trying to figure out, I'm just trying to gain info. And something else, sometimes people will engage something and they stay in the same spot. Don't stay in the same spot because they know where you're at, right? By moving, you're continuing to have the advantage of, like, you can surprise them. If you stay in the same spot, you lose that advantage. And I'm staying wide too, right? I'm staying wide. I'm kind of running almost the edge here because I don't want to get close to them. It's one, I did that because of the wall, but two, I would have done that anyways. Even if this wall's not here, I'm going to stay wide because I don't want them to get behind me. I don't want to get in a situation where I'm going to be trapped. Like I ended up walking in between them. I want them always to be in front of me here. So I'm just continuing to look, continuing to watch. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep running around. Okay. I'm not going to move straight up into the buildings yet. I'm going to move back. Do I hear anything to the left in this building? Do I see anything? I'm going to continue moving. And what's happened because of this? They still think, okay, this guy's probably just chilling over here. Because a lot of the time, that's what people do. They just go and chill in the same spot. They shoot from that spot. And they're just camping. But by moving, we maintain the ability to, hey, I could surprise them, right? And they don't know where I'm at. So what ends up happening? Crypto sends his drone to where I was and drops his ulti, right? I end up getting behind them and surprise the seer here. He sees me, though, last second because of his damn heartbeat. But, hey, what ends up happening in that situation, he's like, okay, this guy's likely over here. Because I stayed wide, I wasn't picked up on his heartbeat either, right? And then when I get in distance, he's like looking, and he's like, oh, dude, my heartbeat sensor. It says he's behind me. And then he like finally turns around just to peek, right? Because he's like, oh, dude, there's something behind me. And then he gets a bullet straight to the face because of that. So it's either, say they don't have a seer, I'm going to surprise that guy on that roof because he's never going to know I'm there. Or two, because I stayed at the edge and moved around like that. In his head, he's just like, oh, there's something behind me. And then he just peeks to check it out and gets freaking beamed. And now, immediately, my head, 2v3 scenario. Okay? We just had a 3v1. We made it a 2v3. We do not want to let them get it back to a 3v1. Okay? At this point, in my head, I'm like, it's 2v1. There's a guy knocked. He's not getting up. Unless it's like I have no... Like, the only way I'm backing out of this fight at this point is if I know for a fact that it's like there's no shot at me winning. If there's any shot at me winning, I'm like, I'm staying in this fight because I have one knocked at this point. Do not let them regain like part of their advantage. Way easier to do a 2v1 than a 3v1. So I pop ulti, right? Makes it so that they can't move up to res. And then boom, I see shields get hit. And I'm going to push the pressure here. I'm going to push it because I do not want them to res. I'm thinking they might go in for a res right now. Or this guy's going to try to crawl back to them. I do not want that to let them have that. Push around, get shots on the Valkyrie. She's playing the box because I moved, right? Getting like a flanking angle and end up being able to shoot here on this. Then I'm paying attention to sound at this point too. So what ends up happening? We're pushing up. We take the fight. Listen, listen, listen. Right there. So at first, I looked a little bit wider to see if like the seer had crawled the building. Is he getting rezzed? Do I see the crypto? No. So then immediately I'm like, okay, instead of continuing to push the open, we don't want to do that. If we continuing pushing the open, it's like, yeah, maybe you're flanking on them, but you have no cover. You have no cover at that point, right? If they stay inside the building or play the building, then you're out in the open and they have cover and they can just peek you like that. So you don't want to let them have that. Instead, it's like, okay, let's take the rooftop, right? And as I go to take the rooftop, I hear the crypto climb up. So he was climbing. Maybe he didn't climb up on the building. He might have tried to climb the wall. But you can pay attention. This is like just paying attention to sound. We get the knock. Listen. You can hear him running right there. You might not be able to hear it because it's harder to pick up in the VOD. Boom, you hear him climb right there. I'm thinking he's probably going to be right on top of this building. What's up, guys? My power ended up going out right at the end of the stream when I was recording this on live. So I'm voicing over it now. But hey, I ended up taking the top of the building, grab high ground, end up finishing the crypto and get the win. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this gameplay breakdown, once again, be sure to hit the sub button if you're not subbed to the channel. Leave a thumbs up. And hey, if there's some more things you'd like to see me break down, different in-game situations, leave it in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.
What's up? Thanks to Prime as well. Tondle, thanks to 24 months primed up. RPM, what's up, brother? Thanks for gifting.